I have so much new makeup to share with y'all. I think it's all from Sephora, and I have so much that I'm breaking it into 2 videos, or it would be a brand new product for every single step of the routine, and things tend to get lost that way. So today we're gonna be focusing on the new Natasha Denona foundation. This is the new HY-Glam foundation, and I bought it in the shade N2. I also bought the High Sculpt liquid bronzer. I got this in the shade Lord knows. Lord knows, doesn't say it on here. I'll put it on the screen what color I bought this in because it's not on the package. I'm gonna be combining it with some other Natasha Denona products. I've got her concealer. I think we're gonna play with the I Need a Warm palette today. I just have been in a peachy mood, and I think that that's gonna be a nice way to lay the groundwork for playing with these today. These are the new Tower 28 Go Go Cooling Shimmer Sticks. I have a lot of thoughts. And speaking of peachy moods, I have this cute little lip gloss that I bought from Creal. I say cute little, I mean, it was very expensive, but this is the No Further Questions lip gloss. The shade is On Top. Either way, y'all, this is not a first impression on any of these products. I'm gonna have some definite final thoughts for you at the end, so let's go ahead and jump in. Oh, and the menstruation is so imminent. The reason this even looks as good as it does is because of the 2 products that I use from Tatcha, just their regular moisturizer, I don't remember what it's called, and their stinking sunscreen, okay? Both of them just blur the skin so much that like, it's making things look so much better than they are, but we're about to go in with some foundation, okay? I saw the finish on the new Natasha Denona foundation in the photos that they promoted it with and the swatches and everything, and I was like, that's shiny, that's dewy. I understand that maybe we're applying a full beat to the models to show the shades and things like that. We are talking about advertising a foundation here, but like, this is like a substantial amount of makeup when you put it on. I'm gonna do my damnedest today to apply as little as possible, because when I have tried in the past to kind of just apply it the way it wants to go on and I don't like fight it to thin it out, it is a shellacking of makeup and it wears uncomfortably. I had to powder the daylights out of it and I felt like it was kind of like cakey and thick, and I'm just not really sure yet what it wants to do, what its ideal scenario is. So we're going to give it the best shot that I've got today. Yeah, okay, cool, it is on Sephora. It's $52, comes in 35 shades, and much like her concealer, visibly the undertones are really strong, dialed in, deliberate, desaturated in a lot of cases, which makes me really optimistic. I feel confident in the shade range more so than I do the formula. Okay, I got the shade N2, and I honestly think that this might be one of the closest shade matches I've ever gotten in something that wasn't like Decipher. Decipher is the one where like they take your photo and they diagnose your shade that way. It also reminds me of the Decipher in the sense that like it's almost too dark, you know what I mean? But that's okay because I do think it's a pretty good match, and I also have her concealer in a slightly lighter shade that I think will help balance everything out. But it is such a neutral. Like, it's so neutral, it's so desaturated, but it's not green. You can see that, it's not green. And we're not talking about a neutral working for olive undertones or something. Like, if you have an olive undertone, I hope that she actually has a shade for you, because this is not the one. I don't know, I don't want to say that necessarily, but like, it does look kind of, I mean, when I put my mind goggles on for like what would turn orange on an olive person's skin, it looks okay when it's just like a big glob of swatch, but when it starts to spread out, it looks a little peach to me. Y'all, if you've tried this and you're an olive undertone, let me know, or if there is a better shade for you in it. See what I'm doing? I'm building it to get the necessary coverage out of it, but it goes so cakey, so I'm gonna like not do that. I'm actually gonna spread that back out and try and rely more on the concealer to get that coverage out of it. We're going to try not to build it, because as much as it looks like it's gonna build, it looks like it's going to want to and like get the full coverage and everything, I feel like that's when I get myself in trouble. I'm like, oh, it looks good from a distance, then I get up close to the mirror and it's just such a high profile formula. Like, it builds like a glycerin layer on the skin in a way that is hydrating, yes, but like it really like accentuates all the pores and everything when you try and build it too much. So I'm gonna try and just keep it as thin as I can, but look at that shade match. Like I said, it's like almost too dark, you know what I mean? Like, hope it doesn't oxidize kind of thing, but I mean, obviously, like, I could have also, there are several shades that are lighter than this. I just kind of think that maybe if I looked at it again, I would be like, I think that the swatches online have been skewed to look a little lighter. Like they all look a little lighter than they probably are in real life. I almost feel like it's oxidizing. I really want to like this. I'm like rooting for it pretty hard. It has a luminosity to it, but I'm honestly not sure that it has its own dry down. Like that's what really bugs me about any foundation. The last foundation, I remember all of them. I remember all the ones who hurt me. The last one that we had that was really beautiful that didn't dry down was the new Bare Minerals one. That thing is an atrocity, okay? And the one before that was the Milk Makeup one way back in the day, probably somewhere in Clean Routine 2019. I think Juice Beauty also doesn't dry down, but like, good God. Like, pray for Juice Beauty. I don't even know if they're still around, but like that was a bunch of jokes of a formula. I mean, I've never seen such disappointing overpriced clean beauty in my life. Either way, I want it to dry down because I want to believe that this is a sophisticated formula, but like, I just don't think that it really does. I just don't think that it really does. It's not like the Patrick Ta where when it leaves the hydration layer on the top, the pigment itself really locks in. Like this just, it feels molten. It feels like it needs to be powdered. And if you're new here or just need to be reminded, I have the driest skin ever, okay? Like it normally soaks up hydration in everything. And even though, yeah, I have sunscreen on and stuff like that, by the way, that's a realistic way to test something. I'm always wearing sunscreen when I put on foundation. The Tatcha is not the dewiest thing in the world. And even the Tatcha Dewy Cream, like it still goes kind of like blurring on my skin. You mostly see like a silicone texture. I don't even know if there's silicones in it, but it takes on a blurred texture on my skin because it doesn't sit on top. It literally like soaks in instantly. My skin just drinks the moisture up. So we're not talking about like a sludgy, unfamiliar primed finish that I put on under this. It just happens to be really like slushy feeling. Like it feels sticky. Lisa Eldridge, that locks in. The Prada locks in. Like I love that feeling. Neither of those is super dewy or super matte. They have a really nice, like truly natural finish to them that's like probably a little better in real life. The new one from Armani locks in. I love that feeling. It makes the makeup feel weightless. This feels heavy. It feels hostile. It just feels really like wet and present and if it's gonna be a skin tint that's gonna like, you know what I mean? Like wear in and whatever. Fine, I guess. I mean, there are more sophisticated things out there than that, but like this is a foundation. Like it goes on like a foundation. Like it feels like like I said, it feels like you are being roller painted with something. It's like so heavy. I don't really understand. I don't really understand, especially when we're talking about how sophisticated her concealer is. Where did I put it? This is what I was hoping for, okay? And I know that if you covered your whole face in this, it would probably be a little too much and a little too matte and a little too over drying or whatever, but it dries down. Gosh darn it. What shade do I have this in? This is in N1. So hopefully we get a little bit of relief from everything trying to be slightly too dark on me at the moment. It's a real shame because it's pretty. I don't know enough about formulation to be like, it needed more silicones, more stabilizers. I don't freaking know. It just needs to dry down, Natasha. Look how blurred. Ooh, what a pretty concealer. My goodness gracious. We might pull this on the rails yet, y'all. Did everyone have, well, everyone in the US, I don't know. Hope everybody had a nice weekend. Hope everyone in the US had a nice long weekend. I have been taking some necessary rest. August kind of put me through it. Not in an irreparable way, but just in like a very unrelenting way. And I'm just like, I need to breathe. But getting on camera and playing with makeup is so healing. It really is. Even if I'm complaining, I'm still healing. Yeah. I mean, like, those are two different colors for sure. I probably should have gotten N1. But like, that's N1 in the concealer. Look how pink it is. So this is the foundation in N2. That's the concealer in N1. I think if I had gotten N1 in the foundation, it would be lighter than the N1 concealer. I don't know. I don't want to cast aspersions when I don't have it in my hands, but like, I might order N1 and just see. I think it's so funny how we used to just like always go on like vibes in terms of like foundation matches on YouTube. People would put stuff on that was like 3 shades off and they were just like, yeah, like this is pretty much it. Like it's close enough, like we'll make it work. And I'm so persnickety, I'm just like, I clock a bad line there. So yeah, I'm so particular about it and like my eye is drawn to it. This right here where the color kind of collects, it just looks unnatural. I'm gonna wipe a little bit off because I'm just like not in the mood to look like that all day. And I'm gonna take something that matches me better than that. I've got the RMS in ON01 here. And I'm just gonna do a little bit of this. Pull us into a territory where things make a little more sense. There, I can live with that. The next thing that we're going to be playing with here is her bronzer. I know I got it in the lightest shade. Bamboo! It says it! I'm so sorry, everyone. I was looking for a number and it's a word. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you a story while I put this on. I'm gonna just put on a little bit because I have used this and in the past I just ended up with too darn much dispensed out of the container. So we're gonna start small here. Yeah, so me and my boyfriend were on the subway. He lives in Brooklyn. And so we were on the G, and the G train has come a long way, let's say. And you know, sometimes you're on an old train, sometimes you're on a newer train, and he was explaining to me that they had made the trains bigger and that had really helped because he's lived there for 15 years and he's been through all of the headaches of the G train and how unreliable it was and all of this. During COVID, it gave them the time to repair things and replace things and assess things and things like that, and that one of the things that they had done that really helped was make the trains bigger. And we were on a newer train, and so I said, how did they make them bigger? The hole is only so big. And he goes, what? And I said, no. But the subway is only so big. How did they make the trains bigger? And he goes, longer. They made them longer, Jackie. And then both of us realizing what an idiot I am. He tried so hard. He was like, I mean, they did take some of the seats out and like, so they are technically kind of bigger inside now for standing room. And I said, God bless you for trying to make me not sound so stupid. I love you, but it's not working. Oh, bless this mess. My God. Yeah, y'all. I mean, the fact I didn't see bamboo because I was looking for a number on the bottom of that bronzer, it's really only the tip of the iceberg. I'm so orange. I'm so orange. I just don't think that these are it, okay? I think that we've had our fair share of misgivings as these products have been coming out, but like, we still play the game. I still want to play the game. Like, what if this had been the most unbelievable formula ever or the most beautiful bronzer shade ever? It unfortunately is neither of those things. I feel, oh, we are in that dangerous territory of I am both green and orange. That's one of my least favorite bronzer phenomena where you're like, it shouldn't be both. Why is it both? It's like they added too much of both pigments in order to try and create neutrality, and we ended up with visible orange and visible green at the same time. And it really looks unnatural. It bugs my eyes. So, oh God, I'm glad that I hadn't done any eye makeup at that point because like that made me actually cry laughing. Oh my, okay. Well, y'all, I reckon let's powder and do a little eye look here. We will do the Natasha Denona I Need a Warm palette. I'm gonna kind of zoom through it so that we can go ahead and get to the Tower 28 eyeshadows, and then we'll like pick blush after that. I just kind of want to see what we end up with first. Okay, I used only mattes so that we could go in with these shimmers on their own so that you could see the amount of shimmer that we get from them, the color and all that. So let's swatch them. I bought 1 or 2 and then they let me select 4 in gifting. The selection is bigger than this. Either way. Here we have, oh Lord in heaven, Troubadour. Troubadour's that one. Then Chateau. Chateau Avalon is this pink one right here. Whiskey is that one right there. Then we have Bungalow, which is like way more opaque than the rest of them. I don't know if they meant to do that, but it's like way more opaque. Like these are toppers and that's like, and then the last one I have there is Studio 28. Sure. That's them. You know, they do have the cooling thing that you get from like the Danessa Myricks, but I want to swatch the Danessa Myricks against it because I feel like we need some perspective. All right, so I'm just gonna swatch a couple of these from Danessa Myricks because it's not so much that I'm trying to like compare the colors or something. It's more just about giving perspective on the shimmer and the color payoff. It doesn't really look, I don't know, it's like not coming across quite as much. Maybe if I get a little closer, you can see. The Danessa Myricks ones do pack more opacity and more shimmer. Especially as you spread them out, they still hold on to it, whereas the Tower 28 ones are just a little bit thinner and they don't seem to really be going for the same thing. They seem to be going for something a little subtler just in general. Oh my God, but they're all stuck on me now forever. So in that lineup, we discovered that I think this eye look, I can do Chateau, which is that like really, really pale icy color. I don't really want to do like Avalon or Studio 28 because they're so pink. Bungalow was so bright gold. It could be really fun. Troubadour. We're gonna skip these for right now. Whiskey, I wanted it to be such a great like bedroomized brown, don't I always? But it just doesn't pack the right, it's not the right color, it's not the right glitter color, it's not the right amount of punch. My own bedroomized palette is, even though it's in its infancy, it is in the works. Send all your good vibes. But yeah, let's start with Bungalow. I just want to see what it looks like. The other two I've tried before. I haven't tried this like bright, super opaque gold yet. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. The thing is, it's kind of like the Patrick Ta little eyeshadow duos in the sense that like, if you bought one of these and you were really pleased with the opacity and then you bought another one thinking you were getting the same thing, you wouldn't get the same thing. Oh boy, it really just disappears when you blend it. Okay, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's just kind of like, what were you hoping for? I would just like to set your expectations correctly. Yeah, I mean, you blend it and I mean, it just goes away. Away! That's kind of disappointing. I don't know. It's like, if you can use a shade without having to blend it, sure. But like, that's so subtle. Even the one that has the most opacity is so subtle. All right, let's go in with Troubadour here. This is the one that's more of like a pinky gold, like a rose gold. A rose gold, if you will. And I'll kind of do a little bit of that. Yeah, that's pretty. The thing with these is, I mean, with anything of this texture is you do want to stay in really thin layers because as soon as these like build too much on themselves, they'll start to get curdly looking and like, I don't know about you, but curdly is not the vibe on my eyelids. It's just not what I'm going for. So yeah, I mean, it exists. I'm like scared to go too far with it, especially since we have one more that I want to use. But don't be afraid that it's going to be too much. It won't. It will probably be very subtle and chill on you. That though, that's lovely. I really like that as an inner corner. Ooh. Ooh. They're so subtle. I would not be at all like afraid of these. Because they do practically blend away. They do practically blend away. I do fear that I have bought kid makeup again. Oops. I do fear that I have bought kid makeup again. Did y'all's moms ever like, you're like, Mommy, put your makeup on me. And then they would do it. And my mom would go, okay, time to rub it in. And wipe it off. Smart lady. Well, I'm whelmed about that. I'm like so whelmed about that. Especially for having so many of them that you'd think that they would amount to more, you know? It's pretty. It's pretty. It's just kind of not what I was hoping for, and I think it's not what a lot of people would be hoping for. But again, I mean, we're talking about something in this like super lightweight plastic packaging. I don't think that these are very... Let's try that again. I don't think that these are very expensive. Maybe they're for kids. I hate that that is like the new thing at Sephora. It's like, maybe this was made for kids. Will y'all forgive me for calling an audible and using one of the products that I want to use in the next video? I'll actually review in the next video, but we'll dip into it now, and that is the new Ciele blushes. Ooh! Crush is gonna be a phenomenal shade for this. This is the new Ciele blush. I'm not gonna go into like a huge amount of detail because I do have all of them, and I want to swatch them for you in another video where they will actually have their chance to shine properly. But for now, I do think that they go nicely with this. So I'm gonna go in with a BK 107 because it's clean. Boop, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, 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 beep, boop, boop, boop. So nice. I feel like there's this weird argument that's happening between the ultra dewiness of the makeup and like the subtle dewiness that I would like to achieve in other things on my face. It's like it went too far. And so I like every time I powder it, it just soaks it up. Another reason that I want to review the Ciele blushes separately is just because I feel like they're not shining, so to speak, or, you know, metaphorically or whatever in this scenario, because we're working with a foundation that's going to just like soak up so much of anything, like any powder or anything. It's just going to like absorb it. But my God, it's so nice and easy. It really is. It's so lovely. Okay, let me do all of my other things. I'm gonna put on some contour because we have not done that yet. I'm going to use my Dior. I do have the new House Labs, but again, we are exercising some restraint, not pummeling you with new things, and we will talk about those in the next video. I'm going to do my normal eyeliner, mascara, brow situation. I'm gonna powder a little bit underneath my eyes with my other stuff, like my Victoria Beckham bronzer and stuff, to like break up some of the like harsher lines. And then we will come back and talk about this lip product, and then we will do final thoughts. So, I'll be right back. I just am like not loving the finish on my skin. It does not feel stable. Let's do some lips here. I'm gonna start by just putting this on so that you can see what it looks like. I'll put it on top of my lips for right now, and then we'll figure out what we want it to be on top of here in a moment. I had kind of a hard time picking a shade in this because I thought that like online they all looked really severe. And this one isn't, I mean, it's not, you know, there's just not like a clear. I was kind of hoping for some clear shades, you know. I did just buy myself a new tube of bikini from Victoria Beckham. I just find these kinds of shades in all of their iterations for different skin tones to be crowd pleasers, but that's just me. I don't actually have any evidence of that. That's just kind of like what I look for, so any hoodles. It kind of reminds me of Wayne Goss's lip glosses, like the appearance of it. And I really liked his lip glosses, but these are thinner. I think everything is just thinner in general right now. The expectation of women's bodies, lip products, to name two. And it's fine. It's fine. It's nice. I mean, it's a lip gloss. Does not feel like a lip oil. Does not feel like a liquid lip balm. It's a lightweight, non-sticky lip gloss, which is nice. Ooh, it seems to have a bit of plumping to it. Slightly warming. Not capsaicin, not irritating, but just a little bit warming. I've been wearing it quite a bit. I kind of forgot about that sensation. So it's like one of those things where it's beautiful in its subtlety. It's not really telling you it's going to be anything more than what it turns out to be. It's not, you know, popping backflips or anything and like trying to earn your approval. It's just a really pretty, nourishing, like peptide lip gloss. Now, let's see how it works on top of something, because I would like to have a little bit of peach. I have here one of my very favorite lipsticks, very favorite formulas, very favorite colors. This is the shade Exposed from NARS in their Explicit lipstick. Eee! I love this formula. So let's see what we can get out of it here. It's so pretty. But it is quite a peachy nude. It doesn't look like it, but it's like a desaturated peachy nude. So if you are olive undertoned or something, beware. This will probably be unpleasantly like orangey caramel on you. But I should say, the formula is pretty comparable to the signature lip from Merit. The shades from Merit never really worked for me, but I bought Slip in the Merit lipstick and I ended up giving it to Rebecca because it is a fantastic desaturated nude for olive undertones. It's a little bit green on me, to be honest. So there's that. Come on! That's so pretty. God, I love that color. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, that's flattering. Oh my God. That's so flattering. I almost don't want to put anything on top of it, but I'm just going to blot it here. I'm gonna put a little bit of the Sarah Creal on top. Just don't end up with like a ton of stuff on me here. Now it just feels like I gilded the lily. Unga Pachka. Yeah, it ended up with like the peachiness that I wanted, but there's something about like the really glossy lip with the gold jewelry and the denim shirt that like takes me to Branson, Missouri to me. Gonna even understand what that means, but it's not that deep of a joke. Either way, it just feels a little schmaltzy. It's just like a little much. Either way, there's that. I don't know. I'd prefer just the lipstick. Me saying I'd prefer just the lipstick, like who am I? She's growing up. That's lovely. Okay, I have sufficiently fussed this to death. Just a little bit of a setting mist here. All right, let's chat final thoughts. Oh boy. Okay, so Natasha Denona. I mean, believe your eyes. It's nice looking, but like better things exist than this that you can get better results from that are not this heavy on the skin. Things that are built for longevity, you tend to kind of have a trade-off that you are very conscious of them because they feel kind of frozen. They feel like very present. You're aware of them. Those are the kinds of faces of makeup that people are used to because they know that they can rely on the performance, okay? This is not that. This had to be powdered to stay in place. Is it the most acting up foundation I've ever used? No. But like stuff do be sticking to me, okay? Like, honestly, do you know what is a perfectly good replacement for this? The Janessa Myrick Skin Tint. It's hydrating, it looks hydrated, it has a butt ton of coverage for a skin tint, and it's stable. Like it dries down in a way that like you don't feel like it's just gonna kind of sludge off on everything. That's why we play the game, that's why I own so many things. The Janessa Myrick Skin Tint is the better version of this. Ta-da! I just saved you like 20 bucks at least. I was curious, so I applied them next to each other because I'm gonna be honest, when I got done with the day, I was like, this foundation doesn't suck. Like, it's not bad. It's just a bad experience when you're putting it on because it takes so long to decide what it's gonna do. It's like it sets down, but I feel like it takes longer than I'm sitting down to do my makeup for it to fully set down, and I'm like fighting it with powder and stuff. As a dry skin person, that's just like unfamiliar territory for me. So while I got to the end of my day and I was like, wow, this is actually pretty beautiful, I was also blotting it. I was like, really? Me blotting something? It just required so much babysitting to get it there that like it doesn't really fully meet my criteria for like, is it easy? Is it fun? Like, does it look good? Yeah. Is it easy? Is it fun? No. Like, I don't want to sell y'all something like that. So anyway, I applied it on this side and it looks so incredible on camera. It looks better on camera always and it makes me think things like, are we just developing makeup for the camera now instead of for like real life? Either way, that's it. No powder or anything on one side. And then that is the Danessa Myricks. That guy in shade 2. You can see that the Natasha Denona, just by virtue of being a foundation and the Danessa Myricks being a skin tint, it has a little more coverage, but I feel like by the time I got everything else on, like with concealer and stuff like that, I don't really feel like that matters that much. And also, you can get more coverage than this out of the Danessa Myricks. You can get a lot more coverage than this out of the Natasha Denona, but as it builds, I feel like all of its shortcomings just get exaggerated. Like, you know, like the more you put on, the more difficult it is to work with, kind of thing. And so like it being able to build, to me, it doesn't really give it an advantage. So either way, I just really wanted to look at like the pore situation, because I was like, is this my imagination that this is just really like exaggerating everything when I put this on, you know, because it's kind of really high profile on the skin. Like it feels like it's creating this like a glycerin layer almost. I don't think it's my imagination. I mean, obviously pores are not like anything avoidable. We all have pores. I just find that like this is what I would prefer to look at over this. Personally, like I've never had this much kind of visibility of my texture. It's smoothing, but it seems to like acknowledge the texture first and then smooth it, you know? Whereas the Danessa Myricks is just a lighter weight product in general, and it has a little more blur to it. And again, in person, I'm looking in the mirror right now, and like this side looks blurred and natural, even though it has a very similar level of luminosity to it. And this side looks makeup-y. And I just don't like looking makeup-y. I don't like feeling makeup-y. And that's where I land with this, is that like, can you get it to look really nice? Yes, but it's quite makeup-y. The formula on the liquid bronzer isn't bad. It definitely is like easy to work with. It's just a matter of like whether that's a color that you want. I think that the swatches online are pretty misleading, because Bamboo looked like it was almost going to be a contour on me. It looked like it was going to be like a beautiful desaturated kind of like neutral tone. And it is a very saturated, like neutral by virtue of the fact that they put opposites on the color wheel, sort of like orange and green, which are not perfect opposites, but they put those in there to oppose one another in order to create neutral. And it ended up being just, again, visibly green and orange, at least to my eye, my persnickety annoyed eye. And like, I don't love how green I look. I look, this is green, and that's not from, this is the Dior contour, yes, but like the greenness and the orangeness. And if that's the kind of formula that you like to use, that's how you like to apply your stuff, then like it is a pretty finish that you get on the skin. It's just, as far as Bamboo is concerned, I'm very dissatisfied with the shade, because like if you have an olive undertone and you're looking for bronzer that has green in it, it still has a lot of orange in it, so it's still gonna go orange on you. And then if you have really warm undertones and you're using this because you're hoping that it has that orange in it, it also has a bunch of green in it, so it's gonna go muddy on you. Who's it for? Who's it for, Natasha? The Tower 28 eyeshadows. I just want to set expectations accurately here. They're like really subtle. And that's not what I was hoping for. I was hoping at least for something that behaves like an eyeshadow stick. This is very much like a topper, but then it really mixes with whatever is underneath it, and it just, I mean, it's kind of all of the things that I don't like about a shimmery eyeshadow stick, but only those things. It's just exaggerating that. And so I do feel almost like, I mean, you know, you can get, I'm not gonna say it's terrible, you can get something out of it, the subtlety and everything, but it definitely rings of drugstore, like hard. It's the kind of thing that I would use from the drugstore and be like, ah, yes, this is why this is inexpensive, and this isn't a hidden gem. I'm not gonna say that there aren't hidden gems at the drugstore, and the people who go and spend their money to find them are worth watching, absolutely. But this feels like when you go to the drugstore in search of a hidden gem and you go, that's about what I expected because it was so inexpensive and because it was at the drugstore and because it felt so cheap when I picked it up and da 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 da. This doesn't feel like a Sephora product. It doesn't feel like it should cost this much. And it might be intentionally that it's kid makeup. I just want to throw that out there. And the Sarah Creal, as much as I don't think that it really went with this look because it was, again, it was gilding the lily in so many ways. Some people like gilding the lily and it's really pretty. It's a very pretty formula. It is. I just happened to, fall back in love with the NARS explicit lipstick and exposed right here before your eyes. That was what happened there because it's so gosh darn pretty. That was honestly like no one's fault. It just is what it is. I was just like, oh yeah, that exists. And wow, it looks great with this makeup look. But it's very, very pretty. And it does come in shades that aren't shimmery. It's just a lightweight, very nice, not like rare, non-sticky lip gloss. I think it's quite lovely. It is quite nourishing. It wears for a while. I don't think that it's like the most long wearing thing in the world. It's not like a Thrive lip gloss. Like, you know, you will notice a Thrive lip gloss at the end of the day. You're like, dang. But I should also mention it is in glass. If you just love the whole experience of that kind of thing, I feel like it's just a nice little thing. You know, it's a nice little thing. It is. It's not my new favorite thing, but it's not bad. It's just a nice little thing. It's like the best thing I've said about anything in this video so far. It's a nice little thing. Wow, I didn't realize that in separating the products from this video to the next new at Sephora, yeah, everything here is new at Sephora. So this is new Sephora part 1. I didn't realize that in separating them, I was putting this whole face of makeup together based entirely on the ones that I was disappointed in. The next one should be more positive, I think. But hopefully I saved you some money today. And if you enjoyed the video, enjoyed kind of watching it come together, please do give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. I would love it if you did. We would love to have you. Put a video up here that I think you'll enjoy if you liked this one. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me today. I love y'all so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.